So welcome back, and in today's video we are going to look at a nice concept called polymorphism. What is polymorphism in Java? While dealing with ops, one of the key concepts to note is polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? Polymorphism simply is how a method or an object reacts in many ways. Polymorphism is divided into two words. Sorry? Polymorphism is divided into two words: poly and morphism. So simply, poly means many and morphism means behavior. behavior behavior. So simply this sums it up. What is polymorphism? How a method or how many methods or objects react in different ways. Let me give you a real life scenario. I can be one person but behaving different ways. At school, I behave differently, and at home, I also behave differently. So that's the same thing here, polymorphism. You can have a method behaving in different ways. So polymorphism is also divided into types. We have two types here. We have the compile time, have the compile time, compile time, have the compile time, and we have the runtime. The runtime. So what does this mean? This simply means how is a, let me say, let me give examples of methods. How is a method going to react on compile time, and how is a method going to react on runtime? Simply, compile time is when you know how your method is going to, the result of your method. Let me say you're having a method which is adding two numbers, and you know the result. That's what we call compile time. And runtime, I don't know which method is going to be executed at a certain point. That's what we call runtime. But also compile time, we already saw what we call method overloading and method overriding. So in compile time, that's where we see method, or that's where we find method overloading. That's where we find method overloading. In method overloading, you can have many, let's remove this. In method overloading, you can have multiple methods. Let me say the add method, and this add method having parameters. Let me say an int num1, comma int num2, comma int num3. This has to close. You can have something like this. You can have, in method overloading, you can have many methods taking the same arguments, or it can be the same or multiple arguments, but you know the results. While for method overriding, you can have a class. Let me say class calc. Inside your class calc, having a method, let me say add, the add method taking arguments of int num1 and int num2, something like this. And you have another class. Let me close this. And you have another class here called advanced calc, but extending attributes, also just this, but extending attributes of the parent class, which is our calculator. Now inside here you can have, yeah, you can have this same method here, but at runtime, while compiling, you don't know which method is going to be executed, but you already have these your methods arranged. But here you can see that advanced calculator is extending attributes from the main parent or the main calculator. Here, this is what we call method overriding, whereby you can have a parent class having the same method as a child class, but at runtime you don't know which is going to be executed. The difference between overriding and overloading is here you know which method is going to be executed and you know which results are you expecting. And now here, this is called the compile time behavior, and this is called the runtime behavior. So method overloading falls under compile time, and method overriding falls under runtime. So let us see. Let us give a small example in real time, and we see. So let us begin with method overloading. So I'll first do here a comment, and we say here this is method overloading. So as I previously explained, let me create a class here. Class, let me call it, which name can I give it? Let me call it addition, because I'm going to have addition methods here. So inside my addition class, I'm going to create a method. I will say int add is taking two arguments, num1 and int taking num2, something like this. So it is returning num1 plus num2, something like this. I'm having this method. So I can have multiple methods. This is what we call method overloading. I can have multiple methods but taking different arguments. Let me say this is taking num, is taking 3 arguments instead of 1, and this one is taking double. It's taking a double instead of taking integers. So what I'll do is I'll come here down and duplicated add in the addition. So this will be this will take also int num3, something like this. Let it take like 4 arguments, yeah, to make it come out as we want. We have these 3 methods. It is one method, but it is taking in different arguments. One method, we are overriding one method. So in other words, let me come here, create a new instance of that class. It's an addition class. I'll say addition, which is its data type. I'll say addition is equal to object, which is the new instance of this object. So let me try to give arguments or assign arguments to my methods. So I'll come here, I'll say object dot, I want to access the first one, which is taking into, I'll say object dot 10 plus 2, something like this. I'll do the same thing for the rest. Object dot, I'll take that one which is taking 3 arguments. I'll say 5, 6, and 5 again, something like this, plus. So I'll create another object for the double one. Double, I'll say 8, 9, 2, and 3. Yeah, this one, terminate, something like this. So let me output them and see. Say system.out. I'm going to first output the first one. Let me save this into variables. Int, this one is add1, which is equal to, say int add2, which is equal to that. Then remember this is a double add 3, which is equal to that. So let me print out these 3 functions that I'm having, or these 3 methods. The first one is add1, I'll give some space, the second one is add2, I'll also give some space, And then lastly is add 3, something like this. So here I already know my result. 10 plus 2 is 12, 5 plus 6, that is 21, plus 5, that is 26. The same thing here. So when I run and compile this, I already know my result at compile time. So that is called method overloading. So in polymorphism, that one falls under the compile time type under polymorphism. You already know how your behavior, you already know the behavior of your method. So when I run and compile, you see that I'm able to get my results as I intended. But here, sorry, here I have to add 3, and here I have to add, remember, sorry, to add num1 and num4. So that's the result. So when I run again and compile, I'm able to access the ones that I wanted. Yeah, here this is 12, this is, yeah, this is 16, yeah, sorry, this is 16, and this is 22.20, which is a double data type, so we expect a 0 at the end. So that's what we call method overloading. So down here I'll comment this. I'll say now let us turn to method overriding. Method overriding. Here, this is method overriding. So as you hear this word overriding, you have two classes. Let me say class A, class A, which is our parent class, and class B, which is our child class or our subclass, but it's extending attributes of class A. So inside here, in class A, I'll say system, I'll create a method called just a void method called show. Inside this method, what am I going to show? I'll say system.out. This is class A, and here down here I will say system.out, I'll create the same method inside class B, but this is going to be B. So in this case, so when I come here down, let me comment out this. When I come here down, I create a new instance. I can first reuse this. I create a new instance of B here. Then I come inside B, object dot let me say show, the show method, and I run and compile. You see that I'm able to access class B, which is here in my method. So what is this? What is happening here? Here, this is called compile time, or this is called runtime behavior, whereby I don't know, after calling class B, I don't know which method is going to be executed. Remember here up, I'm having the show method, and the same thing I'm having the show method in the child class. But remember, the child class is extending attributes of the parent class. So after printing out the show class, I'm able to access the method in the child class, simply because the method in the child class is overriding the method in the parent class. So that's what we call the runtime behavior. So if I want both of them to show, you know what we do? I'll use the super keyword, whereby I can now access the word super dot show. Here I'll be able to access both of them at a single time, or at one time, using the super keyword. But without using this, the parent or the child class is going to override the method for the child class method is going to override the parent class method if it comes and they are having the same names. So that's what we call the runtime behavior. So that simply sums it up, what we refer to as polymorphism, whereby you can have multiple methods behaving in a different way, and we have seen that it's also divided into two: the compile time and runtime behaviors, whereby under the compile time we have method overloading. You have the same method taking different arguments, and you already know your results. And for the runtime, Yeah, we have what we call method overriding. I didn't write it here. Method overriding falls under method overriding falls under the runtime, whereby you have the same method in two classes, the parent class and the child class, whereby the child class is going to override the method in the parent class. So that's simply what polymorphism is. This can also happen to not only methods but also objects. So that's it for today. Thank you very much.